We will never let the euro go. Defiant words at a time when deep debts threaten to tear Europe apart from within. Now, in Davos last year, my next guest, the Greek Prime Minister, said that perhaps Greece would manage to avoid assistance. Well, we all know that that does not turn out to be the case. So, first of all, Prime Minister, we have a lot to touch on. But should we believe the defiance of people like yourself and the President of France that the euro will never be let go?
This is not only defiance. I think there's a very strong will today in Europe. There was, I think, some months ago where there was a discussion about €2 or a breakup or some countries leaving. I think that discussion has ended, and we have all the strong will to defend the euro and do what is necessary to defend the euro, which obviously we have some things to do.
And yet one survey that I saw this morning says, you saw this survey that says a lot of the people, there's a percentage of people that believes by 2016 at least one or possibly more countries will have bailed out.
Well, maybe people will believe things, but that's why we politicians are here, to put things on the right course. And, there is the political will of our peoples and of the leaders of the European Union, and to make sure that in 2016 and 2020 and on, the euro will exist and will be in there.
The stability facility, which has been used as the buttressing of the whole bailout programme, needs to be capitalised, greater capitalisation. This is something that is going to be discussed quite soon at ECOFIN level. Your position?
Our position is, first of all, we have, as you know, been given assistance, loan. We'll be paying them back. And we're on track with major reforms and changes. Everybody's been very happy with what we've done. But if we want to have a wider stability in Europe, obviously there are a number of issues that have to be dealt with. So this is not linked to Greece. This is linked to...
But what's the key issue that has to be dealt with, do you think?
I think there are a number of issues. First of all, yes, we as member states, as countries, have to be fiscally responsible. So there's a question of responsibility there. If people have over deficits and debts, we have to see how we deal with this. Secondly, there's the financial system, making sure that we regains trust with regulation, whatever, recapitalization possibly in some areas. And thirdly, a strong, it's called the EFSF,
right,
the fund, a strong fund so that it does have the capacity if there's another crisis. But that's not the only thing. It should be able to be flexible enough to actually look at the bond market and look at the debt issues so that it could have tools and rules, if you like, to make sure that we have the arsenal.
Binding tools and rules.
Binding rules and flexible tools, I would put it.
Right. Let's talk about the progress that your country is making. You have the most draconian austerity plan in place. It's hurting the Greek people. There are prospects of further measures still to come to try and get the deficit down. Are you comfortable with the progress being made?
We have made very good progress because we're on track, and I would say even beyond. We have cut the deficit by over 6.5%, which is a huge cut. Impressive. I've been told by many that very few countries have ever done this in the past. We've changed our pension system. It's a now a viable pension system, one of the most viable in Europe. We've changed our tax system. It's a transparent, more effective, hitting tax evasion, opening up professions, structural changes which will bring in growth.
How much more can your economy take of this sort of pain? Because you're literally throttling it at the moment, aren't you, to try and get the deficit down?
Well, some of this is pain, which, yes, because we had to cut things to cut the deficit, and we did cut it down, but the structural things we're changing are actually going to bring growth. Now, opening up, for example, the professions. It's considered that it could be a boon for helping GDP 4 or 5%. The new investment laws, investing in areas like green energy and so on. So these are areas where we can see that there's a very positive thing, and this is I think one of the things where people ask me very often, well, are the Greek people supporting? Well, the Greek people were not supported. It was only dealing with the debt. We are changing Greece for the better. We're making a better country, more competitive, I would say more just also.
Finally, there'll be viewers watching who will say, and I can hear them saying, he hasn't asked him, will Greece have to either devalue, default, or restructure the debt? I've seen your answers on this many times, but it's an opportunity for you to tell me. Can you categorically say that's not on the agenda?
Well, devaluation obviously is off the table because we're in the euro. But we are doing other things, in fact, to be able to become competitive with inside the euro. Now, as far as restructuring is concerned, what we are saying is something very clear. We're on a track where we're going to be cutting our debt. It may go up a little bit as we still have deficits the next year or so, but then we'll be getting a primary surplus. That means we'll be cutting our debt, and with growth, our debt will be cut. Now, there is one thing that can be done, and this will be very important. The debt that we have accrued, or the loans we have been gotten from the IMF and the European Union, they will be extended so that we can repay them in a longer term and maybe even on better terms. This will be very important.
But the existing debt that you came into the crisis with, there's no plans to restructure that debt.
Well, no, this is not on the books. So this is something which is not on our plan. It's not on our roadmap. And this is why we are talking about these other measures, which we think are enough to be able to make things sustainable. Obviously difficult, but we have been doing our work, and we will be successful. And I think Greece will be very soon. We'll be showing, just to give you one idea about what things in the last quarter. We had a 20% increase in exports. Just one of the small signs of the positive things that are starting to happen in Greece.
Prime Minister, we'll meet again, hopefully in Athens next time.
Thank you. Yes,
Many thanks
you're always
indeed.
welcome.
Thank you.